Hello, Miss Steele here. So this week we are talking about scale and we're talking about space. Scale is how big or how little something is, while space is how far away or how close something is. So we're going to be using both for our projects today, and we're going to be making secret gardens. For this project, you want a white piece of paper and then brown, gray, black paper can work, or if you don't have any colored paper, you could just use white paper that you color, a pencil and an eraser, scissors, glue, and then you want something to color in with. And today I'm using markers and colored pencils because that's what I think would work the best. Basically, what we're going to do is on our white paper, we're going to draw a garden and we're going to try to use space and scale with it. And then we're going to use the brown paper and we're going to cut out a keyhole. And then we're going to put it on top to where it's almost like we're looking out of a keyhole. I'm going to set this aside for right now. And I'm going to start with drawing the basics of my garden. And then we'll be able to switch it up with however we want to. So what you want to do is about halfway through your paper, you want to draw a straight line. And this is our horizon line. So this is basically where the ground meets the sky. What we want to do now is in the middle of our paper, we're going to make a path, and it's going to go from smaller to larger. So I'm going to use a wavy line for that. And if you see, I'm going to bring it close, and then it's going to come out. So I'm going to continue this, and I might even make it to where it reaches even more together like that. What I'm going to do on my path is I'm going to add in some walking stones. So I'm going to add in some stones using kind of wibbly wobbly circles to fill in. Along my walking path, I can add some flowers, I could add some decorations, I could really add whatever I want. I think I'm going to add some decorations, and I think I might draw like a pink flamingo. And what you want to do as well is the rocks in the back are going to be a bit smaller, and then they're going to get larger the closer we get to the bottom of the paper because they're closer to us. So I tried to draw them a little bit smaller farther back. Our next step is going to be drawing a fence right here and then drawing some trees in behind here. So to draw my fence, what I do is I start with two straight lines next to each other, and then I add a small triangle on top. So two straight lines next to each other, a triangle on top. Right here where I draw my fence, I might make it into a gate. So I would draw it just like I normally would, but I'm going to leave a little bit of an opening. And I'm going to make this part into a gate, like it's going out. So I'm going to keep drawing my fence. And what I'm going to do in between my fence posts which is what these are, I'm going to connect them together, and I'm going to connect them together using two straight lines behind them like that. So I'm going to finish getting my gate drawn, and then we'll add in some trees behind here. Now, there are a few different ways you could draw trees. The first way is drawing a triangle almost to make it look like it's an evergreen tree. So I'm going to draw a triangle behind here. And then what you can do is you can go back and add curved lines in like this. And that can be one style of tree. Another style of tree is starting out with a big bumpy circle, and that would almost be the top of the tree. I'm going to press a little bit harder so you can see better. So I start with a bumpy circle, and then I go back and I add in some straight lines next to each other so it looks like branches. And then I can add bumpy lines on the top, almost like it's getting hidden in the tree. And then I draw two curved lines behind like that. So I'm going to get my background filled up with some trees, and then we're going to move on to starting decorating in here for our garden. So as you can see, I added in some trees. I decided to add in some clouds as well. And I'm going to go along here and I can add in some bushes, and maybe some of my bushes will cover up a little bit of this. But you want to remember the things that are going to be towards the back of here are going to be smaller, And then they're going to get bigger the closer we are to right here. So maybe my bush right here in the front is going to be pretty big compared to that one. And then I can start adding in flowers along right here. So if my flowers are right here, they're going to be a bit bigger than how they'd be back here because this is going to be farther away. So the closer you are to the fence, the smaller your flowers will get. But the closer you are to the bottom of your paper, the bigger your flowers will get. And you can draw all different sorts of flowers. You could draw just the same flowers I'm drawing. You could draw roses. And what I do is I start with a squiggly circle, and then I draw some lines going around like that. So I start out with a squiggly circle, and then I start drawing some wavy lines going along the outside of it. So I could draw some roses in back here, but they're going to be a bit smaller than my roses here in the front. You can try out all different kinds of flowers that you might like. I'm just going to add in a few different ones. Another flower you could draw is a tulip. And I start with a swirly line, and then I add a U on the bottom, and then I add in 2 curved lines. So I start out with the swirly line, and then I add a little U on the bottom, and then I add on some petals. So I'm going to go through and add in some flowers. I think I'm also going to add in some mushrooms, and you can draw a mushroom by using a wavy line on the bottom, a rounded line on the top. You can add the bottom of your mushroom if you want. And then I just draw a long, skinny U at the bottom. So I'm going to add in some different mushrooms and some different flowers. You can add what you want to your garden. So I'm going to work on getting this drawn, and then I'm going to get it colored in. And then in the background, you could even just add in some blades of grass. You could add in some more bushes if you wanted to along here. So how you decorate your garden is kind of up to you. I'm going to start working on getting this colored in since I have it drawn out, and then we will move on to our next step. And I'll probably check in while I'm in the middle of coloring it because this is going to take a little bit. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get this all colored in, and then we're going to lay this on top and glue it on top, and we're going to cut some stuff out from this. So it's almost like we're looking at a keyhole to this beautiful garden that we're going to work on. So I'm going to keep working on this part, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, so I've been coloring it in. I have my fence outlined, I've colored in some bushes, and I am just working my way through getting the rest of this colored in. So whenever I get it all colored in, I'll check in, and then we will use our brown paper to cut out a keyhole and put it on top of here. So I'm going to keep working on this, but I will check in once I have it all colored in. I just thought I'd show you where I'm at now with this. All right, so I have my garden all colored in. I'm going to set it aside. And now I'm going to grab my brown paper, and we are going to draw a keyhole, and we're going to kind of draw it like a vintage keyhole. So what you want to do is in the middle of your paper, we're going to start by drawing a circle, starting at the top and going down to the middle. I'm going to make my keyhole pretty big like that. And then at the bottom, we're going to draw 2 curved lines, and then a line like that. I think I might make it a little bit wider just so you can see more of it. So we drew 2 lines. It almost looks like a weird shaped snow globe. Now what we want to do is I'm going to bend my paper just a little bit, and I'm going to cut a little triangle shape out of the middle like that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around and I'm going to cut it from that center area. So keeping a good hold on it. And then cutting on that line I drew, so this way it can all stay as one. And that's why I cut that chunk out of the middle, so I didn't have to fold it too much, so it could keep its shape. And now I'm going to go around and cut on this circle till I get to the other side. like that. And now I can flip it around and glue it here on top. And then I can go back, and once I get this glued down, I can add some details to this to make it look a little bit older. So I'm gonna glue this on here for my secret garden. And then I'm gonna add just a few details on top of this. I'm gonna get this glued down, and then we're gonna add our details to finish it. Now that I have this glued down, I'm gonna add 2 circles on the side here like this. And then I'm gonna go around and I'm just gonna add some wood grain texture like that. And that's gonna kind of be our finishing touches. You could add more to this. You could even add vines with leaves if you wanted to make it look like maybe the garden's overgrown and coming inside. But I think I'm gonna leave mine kind of just like this. I might go in and add some shading around here on this side. Maybe a little bit over here, but besides that, I'd say we are pretty much done. I can't wait to see how yours come out. And I will see you all next time. Have a wonderful rest of your morning, your evening, or afternoon, whenever you're watching this. Bye.